This is News with the Disney Dude. Please like this video, subscribe, and hit that notifications bell so that you never miss the latest Disney Parks news from around the Walt Disney World Resort. I hope everyone had a great Easter. So now let's jump into getting into the news for Monday, April 6th of 2026. Sheathing has been added to new bus depot at Disney's Polynesian Village Resort. Along with all of the road construction going on right now, they have added a new bus depot. That whole area that's behind the Magic Kingdom, that's what's called the Floridian Way, is being worked on right now because of what's going on with Villains Land and the whole expansion of the Magic Kingdom. They're doing a lot of road construction on behind the Magic Kingdom. I know that they only want that way. They only want the road to be used for cast members only now. So I don't really know how that would work because there's a Publix back there and everything. So I don't know what, but I have no idea. I don't live there, so I can't really comment on that. There's a lot of work that's going on right now behind the Magic Kingdom. So we are still a long ways away. Still a long ways away from this project being completed. It was supposed to be completed at some point, but they've now decided that it's going to take a lot longer than expected. So, if you are traveling to the Contemporary or the Polynesian or anything behind the Magic Kingdom, that's what's going on. That's what's going on right now, is a bunch of construction that's going to take a long time to get done. Okay, and I mean a long time. Pavement work has been completed outside Crystal Arts in the Magic Kingdom. So you may have, if you remember on this show, I talked about the pavement. One part of the pavement at the Magic Kingdom was roped off. They were working on that. Now that area that pavement has been completed, so you can now walk over that section again. So it's great. It's nice to have these little minor refurbishments done before now we're entering our rainy season. Right now Florida's getting a lot of, which we really need, by the way, but we're getting hit with a lot of rain right now. So I'm glad that they finished this before all of the rain came. So but it's nice that this got patched up and looking looking its best again. Now, speaking of weather, actually, Disney files patent to add environmental warnings for My Disney Experience app, which is a great idea. That way, you know what's coming. You know if there's really bad weather coming, or if the air quality is not great, or if it's in the case of very extreme heat, you know that the air quality is not going to be great that day. I really like this. I really like this idea. It's going to help a lot of folks. It's going to help a lot of people who are not used to, the Florida weather, especially coming up on, our hot summer months. People have they come here and they have no idea. They have no idea how hot it can get. And that's why you see, Reedy Creek, the firefighters, that's why you see, them out in full force in like July and August, picking people up off the floor, off the ground, because people have no idea. They have no idea how really bad our heat can get. So, having this feature in the app, I really think that that's going to help. That's really going to help a lot of people. So I'm glad that they're adding this to the My Disney Experience app. Hey, sorry about that. My microphone just fell off. Sorry about that. But now back to our regularly scheduled show. But again, I am glad that that this feature is going to be added in the My Disney Experience app. Hopefully, I mean, Disney's filed the patent for this, so I don't think that Universal could use something like this. But I mean, again, this would be something that Disney would have over Universal. They would have an advantage over Universal. So, but again, you have, let me know in the comments how you feel, but I think that this would be a great addition. It would be a really great addition to the My Disney Experience app. Animation Courtyard transformation continues with bold painting and facade work at Disney's Hollywood Studios. We are just weeks away. Well, I shouldn't say week. I mean, it's still a little ways to go, but Cool Kid Summer is really, right around the corner. That's when we're going to get the new Disney Junior show. That's when, that's when the whole Animation Courtyard transformation will I think probably be complete. But they are getting, they're getting this area, they're getting this area work done as fast as they can, because I will tell you that, the Animation Courtyard is very hard to walk through now. It's, you can't walk through Animation Courtyard anymore. There's, you can only get to The Little Mermaid, A Musical Adventure, and that's it. That is it. You cannot, there is no other way. So, you go into, the Walt Disney Presents Theater, you have to go out the same way you came in. The restrooms are not available back there. It is a mess. It is a giant mess. So, hopefully this project will be, completed sooner rather than later, because, Animation Courtyard is a mess. I mean, Disney's Hollywood Studios is a mess, but, Animation Courtyard is, that's the biggest hit. I don't want to say, Grand Avenue, because, I mean, that section's hit, but there's really nothing in it, in Grand Avenue to walk through. So it's now obviously there's construction, but you're not walking through an area to get to something else. With Animation Courtyard, you have to go around you have to go around the giant construction wall to get to the Little Mermaid. And that's it. That's all that's back there. And that little dinky shop that's connected. That's it. All right. So, we're not walking through Grand Avenue to get somewhere. That section's off to the side. So, we don't have to, luckily we don't have to walk through it, but Animation Courtyard is a mess. It's a mess. Disney Transportation ends restrictions for busy Easter period. So, like I surmised, this restriction was not around for long. It was just because of the busy Easter weekend. In case you don't know, Disney Bus Transportation was only taking guests that had a valid hotel stay. If I wanted to get on a bus from Disney Springs, I couldn't do that. They were only doing it for hotel guests. That restriction is now lifted, so now it's gone back to normal. So, but it is nice that it went back to normal. I was glad that this didn't stay around, that this didn't stick around, which I didn't think it would anyway. But it is nice now that, now you can freely explore Walt Disney World again with getting on the buses and no restrictions, which is great. My feeling is that they're probably going to implement this when Thanksgiving and Christmas hit. But I don't know. Only time will tell. I would probably assume it would, I would assume that's when they would restrict it again, but, I don't, only Disney knows that. So we'll just have to wait and see. But, construction wall has been installed behind Cinderella Castle at the Magic Kingdom. This is probably due to the castle painting. This construction wall probably won't be around for a long time. It is kind of annoying now. Annoying though, because you can't walk through Cinderella Castle anymore. Now you'll have to go either to the left or the right. which is kind of annoying, but it's, it is what it is. But they had to do it anyway because of the castle painting. So just keep that in mind. Now you cannot walk through Cinderella Castle. You can only go to the left or the right. Monsters Inc. coaster beams have been spotted in staging area, suggesting construction may soon go vertical. I would assume that since the building materials are there, this coaster is going to start going vertical really soon, really soon. If they've got the materials back there, I would assume that they're ready to go, and we'll just we'll just have to keep our eyes and ears open for this, which I don't really understand why this thing is not wanting to stay on my. I'm sorry, this keeps falling off. I usually wear a button-up shirt. I decided not to today. But this microphone is not wanting to stay on my shirt. There, we'll see how that works. But I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry that I keep messing with this microphone. But I mean, I would assume that the Monsters Inc. door coaster is going to start construction really soon, really soon. So, we'll just have to watch and see what happens. Monorail Teal suffers breakdown on Epcot line. Trapped guests removed the windows. This happened on Saturday, April 14th, the day before Easter, or I'm sorry, April 4th, the day before Easter. I haven't seen a lot of discourse about this story, which is good. But the power did go out, and it gets extremely hot in that monorail, especially now coming up to this time of year. So the guests just removed the windows because it was extremely hot in there until crews arrived to evacuate the folks. But I'm glad no one was hurt. But there was no malice in this. There was no malice. People just didn't want to die. People didn't want to die from the extreme heat. Disney's Wilderness Lodge painting moves to South Wing. So again, they're getting this building. The painting progresses on this building. Again, I don't really know how I feel about it. You all know that I absolutely despise those A-frame cabins. I think they look awful. I think they look terrible. They're an eyesore. It ruins the sight line of the Magic Kingdom. So I'm not really, I don't really know about the actual building. So I'll just have to wait and see when it's painted and everything is completed until I make my judgment. But man, So, but I mean, hopefully it won't be anything like those A-frame cabins where it looks like an eyesore and it's totally out of place. So hopefully it's not the same way, but we'll just, again, say it with me, kids. We'll have to wait and see. Tram cleaning tent returns to the Magic Kingdom parking lot. We don't really know why this is going on. Probably just general maintenance, because these trams are used all day, every single day. So they're probably just doing some kind of refurbishment with these trams, to make them, fresh and keep them running smoothly, which is more than I can say about the rides. The rides need a lot of work. To go off on a little tangent here, but I mean, I'm glad that they're focusing on maintenance of the trams. Disney, do you think you could focus your maintenance efforts on the rides? Can we please fix the rides? Can we please, just fix the rides so they don't look abysmal? They don't look terrible. All right. Can we please have that? Okay. I don't care if people get upset. I don't care if people are like, this is my once in a lifetime vacation, and how dare you close the ride that I wanted to go on, and blah, 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 blah. I don't care. I couldn't care less. All right. You have to do maintenance on the rides. Otherwise, things look like crap. They look like garbage. And, you go through the rides and they look terrible. They look terrible. Okay. I've sat here, and said that, I love going on It's a Small World. Okay. But every time I enter that show building, it feels like the total opposite of what it's supposed to be. Okay. It's a Small World. It's supposed to be a bright, upbeat ride celebrating, all the different countries around the world, the kids in those countries around the world. And the lighting in there the lighting in there is terrible. It is terrible. It makes you feel like you don't want to be there. You don't want to be there. Animatronics are broken. So I really hope that, Disney just, after the trams, can you please look at the rides? And it's the same way with Pirates, same way with Mansion, the same way with a lot of other rides. The rides need work. They really do need work. All right. But I'm sorry to go off on a tangent on maintenance, but but I thought I'd bring that up because Disney is, focusing on the trams, which is great, but I wish I could say the same about the rides. I really wish that I could say the same about the rides. Okay? Because the rides need a lot of TLC. They really need a lot of TLC. And Disney's way of thinking is, well, people are going to get upset, because it's their once in a lifetime vacation, and it's their once in a lifetime vacation. And if this ride isn't open, they're going to get pissed. I don't care. I couldn't care less. Okay. If people get upset, I don't care. You're Disney. You are supposed to be the Rolls Royce of themed entertainment. Okay. You are supposed to be the gold standard of themed entertainment. And if the rides look like crap, then I'm sorry, but you're not. Okay. So I'm hoping that Disney gets this message, and I really hope that they look at their rides. I really, really do. All right. But I don't know. Okay. I'm being insane now. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Concrete pours into Piston Peak National Park retaining wall at the Magic Kingdom. So for those naysayers, it's like, the Piston Peak area is not going to happen, and the Villains Land is not going to happen, and blah 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 blah. It's going to happen. Now, Villains is a long way away. Okay, forget Villains, because Villains is a long ways to go. Okay. The Cars themed area is going to be, it's a much closer reach than Villains is, okay? So for people saying that, the Cars area is not going to happen, that's just blue sky, it's happening. It is happening. Okay? I don't know if you have your eyes shut, or if you're just pissed off because they got rid of the Rivers of America or what. But it's happening. It is absolutely happening. So I hate to tell you, as much as I, despise Monsters Inc. taking over Grand Avenue, it's happening. It is happening. I'm not sitting here going, Monsters Inc. is never going to happen. It's absolutely happening. Okay? Whether I like it or not, it's happening. Okay, so I'm always gonna, complain about this. Okay, always gonna complain about this, about Muppet Vision 3D. Okay, but it's happening. Okay, it's absolutely gonna happen. Okay, and it's the same thing with with Cars and the Rivers of America. All right. Walking Olaf animatronic will eventually come to Disneyland, Walt Disney World, and Disney Cruise Line. I really hope so. I really, really hope so. The animatronic, the walking Olaf audio animatronic that's at Disneyland Paris is amazing. I really hope that comes here too. I really, really do. All right. Tron Identity Program stations have been replaced with benches at the Magic Kingdom. So you may remember that they took out the Tron Identity Disc program because it wasn't popular. They did the same thing with the Avatar experience over at Disney's Animal Kingdom, because people just weren't using it. They just weren't. They didn't care. So I am glad that they are utilizing the space. So now people can come in and hide from the elements. Pavement has been demolished at the Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular exit in Disney's Hollywood Studios. I haven't been there to actually witness this yet, so I don't know. But I don't know how it's affecting the exit crowd. This old pavement was demolished, and they're going to replace it with new pavement, which is, again, the right decision, the right thing to do. So the people that are saying Indiana Jones is the next thing to go, I don't think so. I really don't think so. That's the last thing left from the MGM days. The only thing left. Okay? Forget Beauty and the Beast. Forget Fantasmic. Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular is the only thing left. That is it. All right? So I don't see Disney getting rid of that anytime soon, if ever. All right? They're just doing pavement work. And our last story is Walt Disney Imagineering files permits for set installations throughout Monstropolis at Disney's Hollywood Studios. So again, it's happening. Okay? it's happening. This is happening whether I want it to or not. Monstropolis is getting built, which I would love to, I always love the idea that we could go to Monstropolis. Now, would I have replaced Muppet Vision 3D? No. No. I would have taken out Launch Bay and I would have put it there. Okay, the animation experience, I don't know where that would have gone, but but if it was up to me, that's where I would have put it and kept Muppet Vision 3D there. But again, it is what it is now. So whatever. But there you are. There's your news. I gotta end this pretty quick. My mic is about ready to die. So if you like this video, please hit that like button. Please subscribe to my channel for more content. I will see you right back here on Wednesday for Wednesday's show. Y'all keep each other safe and healthy. Have a great rest of your day. And remember that tomorrow is just a dream away.